Are you?
I said that a lot. Am I?
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you have your phone, feel free to watch. I put mine to watch.
Mine is charging. That's beautiful, Aaron.
It's live casting to Facebook right now. It's very cool.
What?
Just say.
Hi. Well, I didn't know anyone was there. You told me to just like be, so I'm being.
Yeah, I want you to just be. Maybe say hi to people, talk a little bit.
Hi, everyone. I'm just starting some prep work because tonight I'm going to make pozole. It is a spicy Mexican soup that is one of our family favorites, so I thought I would come and show you how I make it. I also wanted to say a huge thank you. So it's a bit of a celebratory night tonight, hence why we have a margarita. So I just want to give a little toast to everyone. I have reached 201 likes on my Facebook Woman Whisk and Wardrobe page, as well as 218 followers, and I am beyond, I'm so excited I can hardly even stand it. I can't wait to share more with you guys, so cheers. I'm just going to take a break and take a look at my oven here for a minute. Don't do that, okay? What's going on? Here. So I don't know why I feel so nervous tonight. I've been doing this for like a couple of months now, and yet I feel so nervous. I think maybe it's because I'm so excited about where I think this could go. And I'm just so excited that you guys have been commenting and supporting me. And yeah, I just hope I won't disappoint. So I'm actually just starting to melt in my Dutch oven here some about 2 tablespoons of butter and about half a tablespoon of olive oil. Again, I think I've mentioned before that I like the mix of olive oil and butter because butter can burn quite quickly, and if you use the olive oil mix, it takes a little bit longer. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm actually just going to dice up. Well, I did a lot of prep work ahead of time with this one. It's super quick. And we had a ton of leftover chicken from yesterday. It was Taco Tuesday, of course. So I had done some grilled chicken in an achote and lime juice marinade with smoked paprika and chipotle peppers. And since we had quite a few pieces left from yesterday, I decided just to cut those up. So I prepped that earlier. And typically, pozole actually is made with like ham hock. But I also thought that I would save on time. It's not quite the time of year you want to turn on your oven and do a ham hock. So this little ham is already pre-done, and I'm just going to dice it into some cubes. One thing that I've really missed since socialization rules came into play with COVID is that I'm used to feeding family and friends quite often. So I'm just going to wash my hands real quick here. There's nothing I love more than having people in and out of my house and sharing my love of food and cooking. And yeah, this last couple of months, it's been pretty quiet around here. So I'm really excited tonight to be able to share not only hitting 200, over 200 on my Facebook page, but also getting to have dinner tonight with my mom and dad. So that's awesome. So I'm gonna just check on my melting. Okay, so I want you to come over and have a quick look at this. This is kind of how I like it to look before I start adding things. I'm talking to you, cameraman. So no, this is how I want it to look. So it's starting to bubble quite nicely, but as you can see, it's not browning. So it's perfect right now. I'm going to add my chopped onion. So here, I have about half a chopped red onion and half a chopped white onion. I like the mix. One of them is strong and one of them is a little bit more mild. I tend to use white onions most frequently because they're a little sweeter, but you get a nice pungent kick from the red onion. So we're going to saute those in the pan for a couple of minutes until they kind of start to sweat and become a little clear. Then in here, I actually have a mix of different peppers. So there's actually just some fresh orange and burgundy peppers. And I also roasted last night 2 poblano chilies. So I had 1 poblano left over, so I chopped that up, and then I added also 3 chopped chipotle peppers. So as we sweat the onions and then add the garlic, we're going to put these in the pan next. Along with some spices to kind of brown and toast those all together. So you can come back over this way again if you want. And yeah, we'll just keep an eye on these onions and I'll show you what you kind of want to look for. So you can see it doesn't take very long. They're already starting to get a little translucent looking. So not much longer, and then we're going to add the garlic. Something that makes pozole actually really unique as well is something called hominy. Actually, right now I'm going to be using Juanita's hominy, and I do have this for sale on the Shop the Kitchen on my website. Hominy is kind of different, a taste that you probably wouldn't be familiar with, but it is Mexico to me. It is actually corn that's slaked in lime, and it helps to expand the kernel. So if you want to take a look at what they look like, they're all fat. Kind of takes the hull off, and they're puffy and white, and they have a really, really different flavor and texture. Okay, so I think that's as translucent as I'd like them to get. I want them to still hold a little bit of texture. So to that, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of crushed garlic. And then again, still not using measures so good. I'm going to say a little bit more than that maybe. About a tablespoon and a half of cumin. And then 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. And then to that, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of crushed Mexican oregano leaves. Mexican oregano is quite a bit stronger than your typical Italian oregano. It has it's got a really deep earthy smell to it. And it has a very different flavor to your typical oregano. So you're gonna brown all of that together in the pan. And you'll notice it kind of changes its scent a little bit. It becomes a little bit dark smelling. It smells a little caramelized, and so you'll know it's time to add your other ingredients. So to that, I'm actually just gonna come and add those peppers I was telling you about earlier. You can just dump the whole bunch in. And those don't need to sear for too long, just long enough for me to come over. I'm gonna add the ham first because I want to kind of coat it with all of those spices and kind of brown those in a little bit, and then I'll add the chicken. I'm gonna make sure those ham pieces are nice bite-sized chunks. You want to have a lot of texture in this meal, but not too big of a mouthful. Okay, so again, I like to come back and see what I'm looking for before I add the chicken. So if you can see, I'm just going to move this ham out of the way here. You can see those brown bits that are forming on the bottom of the pan. Those you want. Those are absolute gold. That caramelization really enriches the flavor. And you want to make sure that you have that forming before you add your other ingredients. Okay, so now it's back to the chicken. Stir that in. Now these don't have to actually cook because it's already pre-cooked chicken. So all we're doing is looking to meld all those flavors together and form a little bit more of that caramelized bottom on the bottom of the pan. Oh, hey, I didn't even know you were still there. Hi! What I'm doing right now, actually, apparently Aaron, my cameraman, is just run to get my charger because apparently I'm not super plan-aheady and my battery on my phone was dying. So he's going to go run and grab a charger so he can keep videoing. What I'm doing right now, actually, is just breaking up a can of tomatillos. Tomatillos, they're very, very tart flavored. They kind of look like tomato on the outside, but they come in this beautiful little paper shell. And they have a lot of seeds. So So I'm going to come walk over there, just because now he's not so portable with the camera right now. So I'm going to come and show you what they look like. When they're fresh, they're a really, really vibrant, bright green, and they're wrapped in a beautiful little paper green shell. You just peel the shell off, and here's what they look like. They're just small and super tart, a little bit citrusy, and a little bit like a green tomato from the garden. And they're very, very popular in Mexican dishes. So I'd like to keep this pretty rustic, so I'm just going to break them up with my hand here. So again, I'd like to leave quite a bit of texture in the dish. The fun thing about going live is that you learn a lot in your first couple of months. Like, hey, be prepared, Karine, and charge your phone. So, you know, every little bit helps. And yeah, I'm glad that I have family and friends to support me along the way, because then they help me laugh at my own mistakes. Other than that, I would find it nerve-wracking because, yeah, I tend to critique myself a lot, so it's nice to have people in your life that are like, no, it's okay. Trust me, it's okay to make mistakes. And it is, after all, just food, and the whole good thing about food is you just got to share it with family and friends. And the rest takes care of itself. Okay, so again, I'm going to give that just a quick stir. What I want to do now is kind of scrape all that brown goodness off the bottom of the pot. That's starting to bubble quite nicely. I've got all those brown bits up. Now I'm going to, I just poured it all over the stove. Nice. I'm going to add about 4 cups of vegetable broth. I like to use an organic vegetable broth. It has readable ingredients, and I'm a little particular. I don't like to buy things that have a lot of additives in them. And yeah, this vegetable broth is organic and has surprisingly vegetables in it, and no salt. I don't know if that's something that you guys have noticed about my cooking videos so far, and the recipes that I post online is that I don't actually use salt in my cooking. I find most of the things that I use have a lot of natural salt in them, and surprisingly, herbs and spices add so much flavor, you'll find that you don't even miss it. So we haven't used salt when we cook for a very long time. So now, to that, like I said, I added about 4 cups of vegetable broth. And then, to that, I'm going to add that hominy I was telling you about, and I pour the whole thing in. It's got about 1.5 cups of liquid in here as well. And I like to leave the liquid in there because it gives it a really nice, unctuous, corny flavor. So now, the last thing to go in there is a bit of fresh cilantro. I'm going to save the rest of it for garnish, for on top afterwards. And that really is all there is to it. Now that just needs to simmer because everything is already cooked through. That only needs to simmer for about 15-20 minutes, and then it's ready to serve. So I will show you photos later on tonight of the finished dish and tell you how to top it off. Have a great night, everyone. Love you.